Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome. Today we are taking a look at the Scorpio lunar eclipse. And the main theme I'm feeling around these energies is an invitation to embody your inner alchemist, that part of you that can bring the darkness into the light, that can explore the shadow and transmute it. There is so much support in this energy to look at some of those patterns in your life, to look at the subconscious, and to really ask yourself what serves your highest path, or what is just an old pattern and program that it is now time to release. So before I pull up my screen here and we go into more of the specific energies, there are some overarching themes that I think are really key to look at and point out. So this eclipse in the sign of Scorpio, because it is a lunar eclipse, it is also a full moon. So we're working with that energy where everything can feel amplified at this time. And we know that full moons are so supportive of deep healing work, deep clearing and cleansing work, as well as celebration. Like full moons are a time to celebrate. And because it is an eclipse, it is amplified. So the significance of this eclipse being in Scorpio is it is closing off a cycle where we have seen eclipses happening in Scorpio. So the patterns and the awareness and the themes that are emerging during this eclipse are very unlikely to be new. You're going to recognize, wow, there's that pattern again. Here's that same dynamic again. It's not going to be something new, but you are going to be able to see it in a new way. You now have a new perspective. You now have new tools, and it can really be a lot of this like aha moments of, oh, I get it. I get it now. I get what I was being initiated into, or I now understand I don't have to respond the same way as I did in the past because I know who I am today. I have new tools, new awareness. So I think that piece is very, very exciting. We'll dive deeper into that. Now, the other element here is Mars has been the ruler this eclipse season. It ruled over the solar eclipse in Aries. And it is also the ruler of this lunar eclipse because Mars rules over Aries and is the original ruler of Scorpio. Pluto is the modern day ruler. So we're going to look at both, but there's clearly a theme here with this Mars energy that's inviting us to look at what we are moving toward. The archetypal energy of Mars is like this unstoppable power of going for what we want. It's like ambition and drive. And I think it's this invitation to look at what are we moving toward? How have we been using our life force energy? What drains us? What depletes us? And what actually fills us with joy? What is worth channeling our energy and our attention toward, and what no longer is? Like a lot of those questions top of mind will continue to be with this eclipse as well. And there isn't a rushed energy to this eclipse in any way. I think if anything, the solar eclipse energy was more active, more drive, more let's go for it, lean in. This lunar eclipse is a lot of inner work, a lot of inner transformation, a lot of inner reflecting, a lot of time to kind of pull back and heal. Even though it is a full moon, I think it's going to be more of like, let me go within and kind of wanting that time to go within. Now, just to close up that understanding of the Mars energy as well, the other piece of that is Mars has been traveling throughout Cancer in this eclipse season, and that brings in the element of the divine feminine and a deeper understanding of like trusting our intuition and our gut instinct in terms of what we focus on. And I know for myself and the clients that I work with, like I attract a lot of clients who are extremely creative. Like they are creatives, they have their own business, but at heart, they're like artists, they're creators. And it's usually not an issue with ideas. There's always a million ideas flowing through. It's more what deserves my focus? What do I channel and follow through with now? And what's set aside for a later time? What do I run with right away? What's worth giving more time to just allow to come to fruition, right? And this Cancerian energy is like, well, trust your gut instinct with it, trust your intuition with it. Now, I also see this as like the wild goddess energy. Not so much Mars and Cancer in and of itself, But how it's playing out this eclipse season, it's interacting with a lot of like warrior energy that I think is bringing out that wild goddess vibe that was at play with the solar eclipse, the new moon in Aries, and is at play with this full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio. The last thing I want to mention before we dive into the chart here is the fixed energy. The sun in Taurus, the moon in Scorpio, Scorpio, Taurus are both fixed energies. This is about persistence, dedication, devotion to what it is you desire, not allowing challenges to throw you off. When difficulties arise, you don't create the story that that's the end of the road. You instead look at, who am I invited to become to move through this? I'm excited about the many possibilities for how I can move through this and what's on the other side of this challenge. Now, the shadow side of the fixed energy can be stubbornly stuck in unhelpful relationships, unhelpful patterns, because we're afraid to move, or there's this energy, I'm going to make it work. I just got to make it work, even though it's outlived its purpose and it's no longer serving us. So be aware of where that dynamic may be showing up for you as well. So let me share my screen here and let's dive in, taking a look at this chart here. The other thing I actually want to share, so I don't forget about this too, is I'm going to be hosting a free 3-day challenge called Quantum Shifts, Tap into Your Full Creative Potential. I initially mentioned this a couple weeks ago, and these are one of the ideas where it's like, sit with it a little bit. And I feel like now that we're coming out of the eclipse portal, it's the time to share this with the world. So I'm going to share the link below if you are interested in creating quantum shifts in your life, joining me for this challenge, learning skills and tools and energy work that can help you become the master of your energy and really step into your power as that creator of your life, working on that energetic level to call in the experiences that you want. It's going to be a lot of fun. So again, I'll attach that link below, free to join, very high value. Let's go back to the chart here. So we have the moon down here in Scorpio at 14 degrees, opposing the sun over here, 14 degrees in the sign of Taurus. Now, anytime it's a full moon, we're going to see that opposition. In fact, it's that opposition between the sun and the moon that makes it a full moon. So we're working right now with the Scorpio-Taurus axes. And the first thing to really appreciate here is the Scorpio energy and how this is at play in your life at this time, regardless of whether you are a Scorpio or not. We each have aspects of the zodiac signs within us. All of us literally have them in our birth chart. So they are a piece of us. They are a part of us, whether or not we have a planet in that sign. So Scorpio energy is the alchemist, the master alchemist. Again, it is about bringing the darkness to the light, going to the depths of the depths of the unconscious. It's like getting to the root of the patterns at play in our life. Scorpio is willing to go deeper than any of the other signs may even care to do. And when we have a full moon in Scorpio, it is our invitation to be courageous enough to look at what those shadows and patterns are, because they're going to be more illuminated right now anyway. So we can put our blinders on and say we don't want to look at it, but our courage and strength is actually found when we can look the shadow right in the eyes, because we know our power. And like, I can explore this. I can be compassionate. I can love all aspects of me, and I can alchemize what no longer serves me. So there's a lot of power here. And I think it's very fitting if we look at the rulers of Scorpio, Mars, that's about our strength and our courage, the courage to look at the shadow, the power to move forward. Pluto is the planet of transformation and power. So we see them both play out in this energy, very alive at this time. I also call Scorpio the detective of the zodiac, because it's very, very observant and extremely like psychic and intuitive. So I think when those things come together, that's like a detective. So we can be a detective in our own life at this time and really take a look at, again, those patterns. And I don't think they're going to be new. These are going to be things you are familiar with, that you've been working with, but now you're able to see it in a new way. The shadow side of this energy, or the lower octave expression, is the need to control or manipulate in order to feel safe. So look where that may play out. I know sometimes it's easier to see that in others, right? A misuse of power or how we're being manipulated, but we each have a responsibility to look in our life as well. How am I using my power? Where am I staying in what feels safe and familiar and comfortable, and I'm trying to control everything so I can feel safe, when really being invited to just let go, to surrender, to trust. And it's like the trust comes when we really know who we are, when we know we are powerful, we are connected with infinite intelligence. Like it comes back to like, hey, like you are courageous. Look at everything you've navigated in your life. Look at everything you've overcome. Things that maybe felt hard that now feel easy. Challenges you never knew how you would overcome that you have. Like there's so much proof in your life that you are loved, you are supported, the right people come in at the right time, you can count on yourself. Like look for that evidence, right? Believing in yourself. Now, the most significant aspect here is the moon in Scorpio is forming an opposition with Uranus. Uranus over here, 18 degrees in the sign of Taurus. Wow. Uranus is the awakener. And another theme with this eclipse, like this is not about staying comfortable. This is like get uncomfortable, look at the shadow, have the challenging conversation, make the big decisions in your life. Like there's a lot of that internal work. It's like, it can really, just feeling into the right word for this. I don't like to use the word test. So I was going to say it can be a test for how willing we are to step out of our comfort zone. But instead, I think it's an invitation to look at grow, expand. If you're holding on to what no longer serves you, what has served its purpose, you're going to stagnate. And that leads to a sense of boredom. Expand, allow yourself to grow, allow yourself to go deep so you can really launch forward and with new insight and wisdom, because Uranus is the awakener. Uranus doesn't care about comfort. It's the disruptor. It wants change. It wants evolution. It wants freedom. It wants to help you to break free of the stories you've created that confine you and actually take away your freedom. It's liberating. Now, this also suggests there can be surprises that really come in this eclipse season, unexpected surprises. So this is also like another message when you're willing to let go of how you think things have to look, and instead you're open to the universe may have something even better planned for me. Magic happens, and that's very possible with this eclipse energy, that like unexpected surprises and abundance and news and opportunities come in. But sometimes we miss that if we're so stuck in our plan or the way we think things have to be that we're unwilling to budge. And we miss that there's this other incredible opportunity here. So basically stay open. You probably hear that, like that's a theme wanting to be channeled through here. Be open to delightful surprises. Be open to the goodness this universe wants to shower you with. And be open to that energy of liberation, that liberation of also like the emotional liberation of setting yourself free from the stories you've created that can maybe keep you in a place of anxiety and fear, or a story about the world not being unsafe or things not working out for you. It's time to tell a new story. It's time to tell a story that reflects your brilliance, your power, that gets you excited about what's possible. So the other important aspect here is we have Mercury 8 degrees retrograde in the sign of Taurus. I think it's very fitting that we have a Mercury retrograde happening during eclipse season in the sign of Taurus. Pretty close to the North Node here, also in Taurus, about to wrap up its cycle in Taurus and soon move into Aries, but we'll talk about that in a couple months. In the meantime, it is still in Taurus here. So this energy can really help you be more certain around what your path is as you go forward. If you have been in a place of maybe going through the motions of creating what once worked for you, but no longer does. This can break you out of that and help you awaken to like, hey, what brings you joy today? What excites you today? What is your vision today? Like, forget about the past. I mean, we learn from the past. We have memories we treasure from the past. But in the sense, like, life is always inviting us to expand, to grow, to evolve. And this Mercury retrograde in Taurus is really looking at what beliefs are now coming with me. What beliefs do I need to embody that are a match to who I am today? What do I care about today? What matters most to me today? And am I saying yes to it? Because there's a lot of clarity that can come through for you. It actually takes a lot of energy to talk ourselves out of what we don't want. And why not instead talk ourselves in to having what we want, to backing ourselves, to recognizing that it's a possibility, to stop making up excuses or lowering our standards, and instead have your standards reflect who you really are and what your heart desires. It's just as easy to get your energy behind that than it is to talk yourself out of something you don't want, which is very depleting over time. That depletes our life force energy. So Mars here, as I mentioned, is in the sign of Cancer. It is trining this moon in Scorpio. So we got the moon in Scorpio, a water sign, Mars in Cancer, another water sign, this beautiful harmonious connection, wild goddess energy. Trust your intuition, trust your gut instinct to guide you forward. Yeah, it's going, like, your intuition is at an all-time high in this energy, like Scorpio moon and that trine with Mars and Cancer. Like, wow. New intuitive gifts can even come on board for you if you have been working to awaken them. If you've been working to awaken the different clairs, which are basically the different ways that we perceive energy, that, like, you can have some things really click into place around this. So if you get a strong gut instinct and intuitive nudge at this time, just trust it. I know I say this very, very often, and I live my life by following my intuition, but trust me when I say this energy is like whole new level heightened at this time, your psychic abilities and intuition. Pluto is also the ruler. Ooh, let's go over here. We got Pluto in Aquarius, the modern day ruler of Scorpio, making it also the fellow ruler of this full moon eclipse. It is at 0 degrees of Aquarius. It is soon actually getting ready to retrograde back into Capricorn for a while. But at the time of this eclipse, it is in Aquarius. Pluto in Aquarius, if you've been following my videos or other astrologers, you know this is like spotlight discussion, because Pluto in Aquarius is rapid ascension. It is a collective shift into a new way of seeing the world, a new way of understanding ourselves, our creations. Like, whoo, Pluto in Aquarius, power to the people, and acceleration in inventions that actually move us forward as a collective in new and beautiful ways. It's the sign of the visionary. Pluto also represents deep inner transformation, which again, like, that is the core of this full moon, is that understanding your power as that alchemist in your life. And there's a lot going on internally with this full moon, a lot of internal shifting and work that's happening here, a lot of healing, releasing, clearing. That can feel really good, really powerful, because it's like, wow, this space is finally cleared and I'm ready to move forward. Doesn't mean that we're fearless in that. It means we're courageous in that. And there's a difference. The last aspect I want to speak to is Jupiter in an exact sextile with Venus, both at 27 degrees, not directly interacting with the eclipse itself, but this is the chart for the eclipse, and this aspect is exact at this time. And I feel a powerful message from the records around this. So during this time, there could be people that are coming into your life that have a piece of information, Venus and Gemini, a piece of information that expands you, that is the missing piece to the puzzle, that helps you open up to another possibility. And I get the sense that this interaction could be fleeting, but it's very karmic in that it's like a soul level contract. But it could be somebody that you meet unexpectedly or suddenly in a weird synchronistic way that just says something that clicks with you. You're like, oh, wow. And you'll see the ripple effect of that over the next 6 months. It could just be like a little seed they plant, but it actually creates massive expansion with Jupiter and Aries there. You could also be this for someone else. and both, right? Something you say that really uplifts someone, brings a new sense of hope, brings a piece of information they've been searching for. So I really, really love that aspect. Now, I really feel that message strongly from the record. So that's super cool. The other thing is the relationships that are in your life that are very meaningful can really experience a lot of joy and expansion at this time as well, with Venus sextiling Jupiter. It's a very favorable energy, very favorable, very fun to play in. Yeah. So that is our Scorpio eclipse. Share with me below what resonated with you. Share with me what you are releasing in this energy. It is a full moon eclipse, right? So amplified. What are you letting go of? What is it time just to like release, to surrender? Share with me, or just simply say hi. I love to connect with you. And I hope to have you join me for the upcoming challenge, Quantum Shifts. It's free, 3-day challenge to tap into your full creative power. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hosting this coming out of the Eclipse portal, where we are all like collectively in a new energy with new insights and a new awareness and deeper clarity on what we want to create. Feels like a really powerful time for that. So I can't wait. I am sending you all so much love, and I will see you very soon. Bye for now.